All right, everybody. So thanks for being a patron of mine. I really appreciate that. This is one of the exclusive videos, of course, that nobody else will see. So have the Makita bar. I'm pretty sure this is just an Oregon bar that they've branded, but I don't know for sure. It does have stamped on it Makita, but I don't know. They are running an Oregon chain on it. So it's 043 3/8. It comes with this Makita scabbard, which is not bad quality. It's not the greatest quality, but it does have a decent form to it to stick to the bar. So that's good. It doesn't just slide off real easy or anything like that. So once again, professional style saw, has the nut instead of the screw chain tensioner on the side like the prosumers or the homeowner saws do. Has a metal catch on it, and it has a metal dog in the front there as well. And like I said, it is running a Oregon chain. So that's how they have this set up. It is 36 volt. It's two 18 volts that make 36 volt. So you can use your drill batteries for it. Just these. This is a newer one that I bought. 3 amp hour. Has the charge in the front of it. You know, the indicator. The saw itself does have an indicator button on the back of it as well. This one, it's on the body. That's awesome. I love it when they're on the body. It makes it so much easier to keep your chain on and make it, you know, take your chain on and off for repairs and things. When they're on the cover, like the Husky is, I don't like that. And I want to say the small Makita was actually on the small Makita, I want to say, was actually on the cover as well, the 18 volt. But they have the 36 volt on the body, which is nice. So it doesn't matter which side your bar goes. They have the oilers. You know, where are the oilers? They don't have oiling. Oh, well, yeah, they do. The orifice on the oiling hole is on the same as the guide hole on this one. Some of them have different holes. Some of them don't. That depends on the saw manufacturer and bar manufacturer. One of the Samura light bars that I have, they actually have a separate oiling hole. And it's not a solid pass-through hole. It's only perforated on one side of the bar, and it's not on the other side. So that's what I'm thinking of. So, I mean, you guys know how to, well, maybe you do. Put your tensioner all the way back. This is a 16-inch bar, so it's a bit long. I am curious how the balance on this will be, considering it is a 16-inch bar on a top handle saw like this. I mean, my 201 has a 16-inch bar, which isn't a big issue, but you know how it goes. It depends on how each product is manufactured as to what kind of gear they'll or how balanced it'll feel. Of course, when you're doing this, make sure that you first off don't cut yourself, which is always a plus. Second off, make sure that you don't you don't put the chain on backwards, which is a whole nother thing. Super common for people who are noobs to chainsaws is to put your chain on backwards. Sometimes it helps if you put the chain on the bar first. Sometimes it makes it more difficult. It just depends on how your saw is laid out and what you find easiest. Sometimes if you have enough of the chain in the guide, it just helps it kind of stay where it should be. Make sure you're under the chain stop catch on the bottom for sure. Make sure that when you're tightening up things, everything is, don't drop your scrunch. Doing this all in close quarters. So this stuff is kind of flimsy in here, which isn't ideal. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll see how that goes. That's not an ideal situation by any stretch of the imagination. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it does not. So, of course, I'm tightening the tension by shifting the bar forward on this. If you're new to chainsaws, you may not know what that means, but you want it to seat in these really well, and you want it to be in the saw, but you don't want it to be so tight you can't pull it out. Like, that's too tight. So I'll loosen it once I get the cover on. Now I've got to figure out how Makita has their locking mechanisms on their cover. Looks like that's about how it is. So that's pretty simple, which is nice. That's super nice. Makes it way easier. When you tighten your screw, do know that it will tighten the bar. It'll shift it forward a lot of times a little bit. So what we like to do is tighten it and then just break it off enough to where we can adjust the chain. So there, maybe a little bit more for me. And then don't forget your chain will become more tense or slack off once you've run it a little bit. A new chain always tends to slack off more. It's just how it is. So don't forget to keep a scrinch nearby and keep it at hand so that you can tighten it as your chain is getting worn in. Eventually it'll get to a point where it won't stretch anymore unless you're doing like really hard. Like when I do juniper wood, it always stretches no matter how old the chain is. So that's a different issue. But it'll go through a natural stretching period once you've started running it and cutting and the friction's pulling on it. So here is your oiler feed. So here we have the oiler cap. As a general rule, just FYI, because of the work that I do and everything, I just put mine at max. I almost always run mine at max. I don't find any reason not to. I'd rather it over oil than under oil. Here's that, here's that. Where's the oil? Let me find the oil, there it is. So we are gonna see how much this bottle of oil will actually fill up this reservoir. Is this a full thing of it? I don't know. That's what we're going to find out here in a minute. Well, that's not even enough to like barely begin to fill up the saw. Huh. That's odd. I don't know exactly why they would send you that then, because that's pretty much useless. I'm going to keep this though for my steel GSA or GTA, what is it? GTA 26, this thing, because it doesn't have an oiling reservoir on it. And you have to hand oil it. So this bottle will come in handy for that because it holds a little bit more than the other and it's a little bit more robust. So there is a benefit to this after all. That's weird. That's like maybe a quarter of the reservoir only full with what they sent you. I don't know why they even bothered, to be honest. That's so very, very strange. Oh well, not my biggest concern. I have oil. So just a tip, this time of year in the winter when it's really cold, I am using winter steel oil, bar oil. It is in the blue bottle. It's almost like vegetable oil, very, very thin. You can use vegetable oil on them as well. In the summer, I do run the thicker viscosity. So here it is, fully put together. Oil reservoir cap screwed on. While I do like the pressure caps of steel, there is a bit more security in these screw-on caps that other brands like Echo and Husky and Makita have. So I'm not a huge fan of the pressure ones from steel. I like them okay, but they're not the greatest thing ever. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, so we've got it all together now. I've got 2 batteries. One isn't quite as full as I would like it to be. It must have sat out in the cold too long on the whatever on the charger. So here the 2 batteries are. They just slip in like they would into a drill case or whatever. Here's your lanyard catch, and now you can see that they're both right there. And as I mentioned in the video before, there's chain lock on. So if you can see here, that's on. Chain lock's on, won't move. Yeah, so, and then you have, if you hold it down, hold on, hold it down, then it comes on. I don't know, I can't really tell. Yeah, I don't know. Has a new motor smell to it for sure, without a doubt. I don't know if the power settings on it are noticeable by hand. We'll have to do some cuts with it, which we'll do here shortly. But just as a comparison again. So this one needs to be cleaned up and shipped off. I'm still working on that for somebody. This one's definitely narrower in profile. It's not as wide and bulky. I mean, if I set them like that, you can kind of see the casing isn't quite as wide on this one as it is on this one for sure. I'm pretty sure this one's a little bit lighter. And what I don't know though is power wise. The Makita feels like it has a little bit more low end torque, and it sounds like it's a little bit louder. And that's on the max power setting, because that's automatically on max power setting with the Husky. This is Eco, which is supposed to save your batteries a little bit longer. I still do like that feature of the blinking light though for your chain guard being on. This one definitely is a little bit lighter. Man, I need to tighten that chain too. So yeah, we're gonna go give these a little bit of a run. I've got to go pick up some equipment, product stuff for shipping out to some people and get everybody up to date. And we're gonna also make a test cut. Once again, that's a 12-inch bar and this is a 16-inch bar on the Makita. So let's go give these a run and see what they do.